All right, so with everything going on right now and spring break literally being right around the corner, everybody has been asking one question in particular when it comes to cruise ships, and that's if it's safe to travel for spring break. In today's episode, I'm going to be answering that very question for you. I'm going to be talking both in favor and not in favor of traveling for your spring break vacation. So make sure you guys stick around for the entire video because I may bring out some plot points that may alter your decision. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, shall we?
Let's go!
Hey, what's up, Shiplife crew? My name is Jay, and welcome to my channel, The Shiplife, where I talk about all things regarding cruise ships and the cruise ship industry. If this just happens to be your first time visiting my channel, or you've been already watching my videos and you haven't already yet, make sure you guys sail over to that subscribe button and hit subscribe, along with the notification bell. That way you guys get notified whenever I post my new videos. I'm actually on a mission to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I would appreciate it if you guys could help me out. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on with today's episode. So recently, the cruise ship industry has been getting hit hard and receiving a lot of negative backlash in response to all the crazy things that have been happening regarding this pandemic that's been going on. Now, guys, obviously we all know it's something to be afraid of, but to be honest, I can say that the media is gassing this thing up a lot more than it should be. And unfortunately, the cruise ship industry just happens to be a casualty of that. But I just want to say, guys, in today's video, I am going to talk about both, in favor and not in favor, like I said at the beginning of the video. And I am in no way, shape, or form telling anybody that they should or should not go on a cruise ship, especially for spring break. At the end of the day, it's ultimately your decision to make, your choice. If you guys want to go on the ship, then by all means, please go ahead and go. Don't listen to what other people have to say. I'm just making this video just to kind of bring out some points that maybe somebody has not thought about, or just to get some clarification as to what's really going on. Because I don't believe it's so cut and dry as cruise ship, vacations is the sure route to go get the virus that's running around rapid right now. So let's go ahead and talk about some plot points and good and bads and all that other good stuff, guys. I just want to give some clarification and share some information with you guys. All right, guys, so let's go over a couple little facts regarding this virus in particular. Now, we all know that this virus has been kind of in the news consistently for about just over 3 months. And nobody can exactly say for sure where or when it actually just kind of manifested, right? We can always date back to, of course, over in Wuhan, China, but we can only do so much, right? However, since then, it has been all over the place, all over the news, all over the media, and it has been making people freak out. I mean, we've all seen everybody walking around in the mask, selling out on health products in stores. It's just been crazy. And, it's just one of those things. At the end of the day, like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but we all know that the media is typically only going to post negative things because at the end of the day, that's what we all watch. It piques interest. And people seem to be a little bit more tempted to watch that as opposed to good things like puppies or whatever, right? That's just the honest truth. Now, when it comes to the cruise ship industry, obviously we've had some incidences where things have not gone good at all with multiple cruise lines, right? I don't think Carnival's had anything, but of course you guys know there's something going on. Multiple ships with Norwegian, with Princess, now Royal Caribbean. There are a lot of things happening and it's unfortunate, but we also got to look at the bigger picture, right? Because nobody is really talking about just the situation with all sorts of travel, right? People are still getting sick that are going on flights, right? Actually, right here in my city of Florida, right? In my city of Tampa Bay, Florida, there was a reported case already. There was somebody in Miami, there's somebody in California, there was somebody in New York. And a lot of them came from flights, right? A lot of them came from Italy, of course, parts of Asia, but that's just the facts, guys. And for some reason, the cruise ship industry is getting hit harder than anywhere else. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand why, because as somebody that has worked on cruise ships, I can personally tell you, and I say this in my videos all the time when we're talking about disease, sickness, virus, anything like that, it's very, very easy for something to spread on the ship. Why? Because you're stuck on a giant sardine can with potentially thousands of people, nowhere to go, and something as little as the common cold can potentially spread to the entire ship. I get it. However, guys, you still got to look at the facts. There have been, yes, cases of people getting sick on board cruise ships, but you also got to understand that a lot of times, for some reason, it just happens to be the passengers and guests, right? There are crew members that are on that ship day in and day out, like I was, right? And how many do you see getting sick? I believe there's been a couple reportings of course, that virus, but more so like the flu, things that typically happen to people around the world regardless of a pandemic or anything going around. And you guys got to understand that, especially when you're talking about spring break, which is the subject of this video, right? Spring break is, of course, a very, very wild time for a lot of people, especially younger people. And of course, that could pose a lot of health risk, especially with what's going on. So just leading into that situation alone, I think that personally, it shouldn't really matter, you know, what's happening. I think if people have already planned out their vacations, they've already made flights, they've already made cruises, they've already booked everything. Honestly, if you guys are really that worried about it and you have insurance or whatever, and you can actually cancel and get a cancellation fee or your money refunded, by all means do it, right? But I think the fact right now is that people are so afraid of what's happening that they're willing to judge everybody else, and I think it's insane, right? You know, I did the video yesterday, which I'll leave down below, about the people on the French island, that the islanders, right, the locals were throwing rocks and bottles and starting fires over a cruise ship that was just happened to be in port. And honestly, it's like at that point, you got to realize that things are kind of getting out of hand. At one point, until it was kind of like this mass announcement that the masks don't help, those little health masks, not even like an oxygen mask or a breathing mask. It's like the little, you know what I'm talking about. People were literally running around in the street wearing those masks and thinking it was helping them somehow, right? People are just so misinformed, and it causes more chaos than the actual problem itself, the sickness in question, the virus. And, you know, I think everybody just has to look at all that stuff, right? So yes, it's a very, very dangerous situation that we're looking at. And, you know, we could talk about negative stuff on and on and on. Of course, obviously, guys, if you're traveling, you got to be safe. You know, look at right now, they're talking about potentially canceling the Olympics, which honestly, to some degree, I'm in favor of, because you got people that are going to be coming for a couple weeks from all over the world, right? And then suddenly a couple weeks later, just sent back to wherever they're going. So if one person catches it, it could potentially just have like a worldwide epidemic, and that's the last thing that we want. But guys, again, it's not something you guys should be so fearful about that you were going to live in this box for the next year or so, right? Personally, I think that this virus should, hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, should start to die down sometime this month, or at least find a solution or find some kind of happy medium to where people can go back living somewhat normal lives instead of being in a state of paranoia. Because, you know, there is a lot of arguments right now, of course, with people regarding this situation. Some are saying that, you know, obviously this is a very dangerous situation, but you got others that are right in a sense, because they're talking about the fact that there are so many other things that are killing people and causing fatalities and causing so much other bad situations than this particular virus happening right now, right? Like smoking, cancer, that swine flu thing that was going around a couple years ago, right? There's so many things that have happened in history's past that are still like relevant today that people don't even think about, that are taking more lives than what's happening right now. But I believe the only reason that it's such a big deal is because this is brand new, right? I hate to say it, but naturally as humans, we tend to kind of had like somewhat, you know, short-term memory loss, or I guess you could say, right? We don't really think so far back of all the other things that's happened, right? Because we're only looking at the now and potentially the future, which is understandable. But it's, again, it's not like one of those things where people should be just in such a state of fear that they are criticizing other people for the decisions that they're making, or being racist, because that's happening as well, with people being racist toward Asian people. And, you know, all that, honestly, in my opinion, is completely uncalled for. But, you know, who am I guess? I mean, it's my opinion, guys, but, you know, I think it's something that should be said. Now, in regards to spring break, to conclude, guys, because I know I've been rambling on, but there's just so much to cover when it comes to this situation. We could talk about this literally all day. If you guys are going on a cruise ship vacation for your spring break, just consider the factors. In the bad side, right, you are potentially susceptible to dealing with the travel bans, of course, the extra health screenings. And, you know, I don't think so, but obviously, guys, if you've seen this, like with the video I did yesterday, the angry locals, you know, you could potentially deal with all that stuff. People may be acting a certain way once you get in these ports, right? But again, guys, just do your research, do your homework, try to figure out where you're going, especially with the travel bans, because the last thing you want to do is figure out you're going somewhere that you're not allowed to go to. And you know, things are popping up every day. There are ships getting stranded, like that Princess cruise ship that's stranded outside of California. You got other ships that are being turned away from parts of the Caribbean. We don't want that. You know, obviously nobody wants that, to have their cruise ruined and, you know, potentially just ruin their entire spring break. But just consider those factors, guys. Anyway, guys, I know I've been rambling on this entire video, and I know I'm gonna get a ton of hate comments, but hey, it is what it is, guys. This is my channel, and I try to give you guys as much information as I can and talk about all the facts that maybe somebody else may not have thought about, or just something that can, you know, maybe spark up a conversation. Let's do that, guys. Let's talk about it. What do you guys think about the situation? Let me know in the comments below. Also, guys, make sure you guys like this video, and again, subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Jay. Hope you guys are doing well. I will be coming out with another video either tomorrow or Sunday, one of the two. But until then, I'll talk to you guys soon. You take it easy.